Good morning. We're here today with our visual podcast in our neighborhood. And with us today we have Diane Wright, the Executive Director of the Chapter of the American Red Cross of Montana. And we have Janet Duffy, my partner at COMPARION Insurance. Janet, I'll let you take it away.
Oh, thanks, Todd. Good morning. We're honored to be here in the office of the American Red Cross in Great Falls. And you missed all the fun, actually. We had this whole, how do we say your title? Because it's really fun.
Yes, whatever board member, Todd, neighbor wants to call me on any day.
There you go. Well, the American Red Cross is really kind of, everyone knows about it, but not really, and I don't know that they understand just the sheer size of the operation here in Great Falls and what it means for the entire Great Falls, or state.
Montana.
Yeah.
In Great Falls, we're the headquarters for the Montana chapter. And we cover every county and tribal nation across the state. We're there when people need us most. And we do that because of the generosity of our donors and our volunteers. 90% of our workforce is comprised of volunteers. That's pretty amazing.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Working with nonprofits and volunteer management, that's a full-time job in itself. And responding so quickly to disasters. We visited a bit before we started about the response to, for example, the Gibson Flats fire.
We share similar missions, really. Mm-hmm. We are there when Montanans are at their darkest hour, and when they need it. So insurance is there, so is Red Cross, really. To bring up probably our most recent big fire here in Great Falls, we responded to the Gibson Flats fire in December before last, and it was traumatic for those families. It came up out of nowhere on a windy night, and at the same time we responded just a little bit later to the wildfire or the grass fire in Denton. So we're there when people need us most, and we help them get back on their feet again. We give them financial assistance. If they've lost their prescription medication in the home fire, we can get that replaced because we have dedicated nurses who are ready to respond 24/7 to get that prescription refilled. Eyeglasses, you evacuate your home at a moment's notice when the sheriff knocks on your door. You don't have your go kit ready to evacuate, so that's why Red Cross is there.
That's pretty amazing.
Speaking of the go kit, what is this in front of me?
This is an amazing project. So we've got, not only do we respond to disasters and we help people get back on their feet again, but we want to help them be prepared. And we do that at all ages. So we have a Prepare with Pedro, and that's geared toward 4 to 8 year olds, and I'll talk about that. And then the Pillowcase project is geared toward 7 and 11 year olds. Then everybody after that, we like to go into their homes, make an appointment, teach them about home fire safety, teach them about checking their smoke alarms. We'll even check their smoke alarms, and if they need to be replaced, we'll get those replaced. We'll install brand new state-of-the-art smoke alarms that have 10-year lithium-ion batteries. And it's all free. Mm-hmm. For the homeowner or the resident, and so we'll do that. And let me ask the two of you a question. How long do you think you have to escape if your home catches fire? How much time do you think you have?
2 minutes.
You must be on the board of directors, Todd.
I shouldn't have
You've
said
heard
it.
that before. People underestimate. It's really only 2 minutes, and so we like to talk to families about where they would go. What is their route out of their house in case there is a home fire? And so let's talk about Pillowcase Project first.
Sure.
So this.
Well, and just we're going to let all of our viewers know that Diane's going to have to come back because there's so much that the Red Cross is doing that it's hard to get into this short.
Well, thank you for that.
So to speak.
I'd love to come back and talk about this amazing facility and blood drives. During the summer months, it's a critical time for blood donation. So I'd love to come back and talk about that.
Okay.
So, Pillowcase Project. Well, this is a pillowcase, and we all have these, right? Well, this is geared toward our pillowcase project, where we would love it if summer camps or schools here in Great Falls or in Cascade County or anywhere across the state invite us to come in and do about an hour presentation with their kids. We talk about potential disasters that could...
Can I do this?
Yeah.
I'll be your Vanna.
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to not
Janet. Yeah,
So can we see that? Okay.
So what the kids love, they decorate this with permanent markers, and they write on there, what would they put in their to-go bag in the event that they have to leave their home.
So is there a place for like a favorite stuffed animal? Is that
fill in the blank. Sometimes they'll draw a little picture of their stuffed animal or their little puppy, and it just helps kids be more comfortable when you talk about emergencies in a very safe and fun way. Kids just love this. So it's about an hour long, and we partner with the teacher or the camp counselor, and we ask kids questions. And here's the best benefit of all of this program. Kids are the best ambassadors to go home and tell their parents, Mom, Dad, we've got to check our smoke alarms. Mom, Dad, we need a fire escape plan. Let's practice it on Friday night.
That's right.
Yeah.
And how do you say no to your little one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, with that kind of enthusiasm.
Yeah, that's right.
So they'll decorate this, and then they get to take it home with them and show their parents. And, sometimes you have to escape a disaster or evacuate your home in the middle of the night. Keep this at their bedside, and they like to have it there.
It's full, so to speak. It's locked and loaded, and they can just grab it and
go. Yep. Yeah, and we tell parents, please do the same thing. Get your prescription, even if it's not an extra prescription filled, at least it's your prescription on a sheet of paper or on your phone. Even if you're traveling in winter conditions across Montana highways, have a preparedness kit. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, I have purchased kits from the website that were pre-prepared for those of us that may not have youngsters and go through this process.
You can do that, Todd.
Okay.
Yeah,
and what's the website for that?
So it's just redcross.org, and click on the links. It'll take you to where you can go to get some things. But some of this stuff
is a fun family activity.
Common.
Yeah,
it is fun kid activity. So as I said, this is for 7 to 11-year-olds. Now, talking about emergencies to 4 to 8-year-olds could possibly be a little daunting, but we make it fun with Pedro the Penguin.
Okay.
It's a Red Cross character, and he is all about being safe and being prepared. We've got storybooks, we've got animated videos, activity books, and we take that into to classrooms or summer camps, and we just ask kids questions, and we use fun words to help them understand what that's all about. And it's surprising how smart these kids are. They know what to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'd like to do that. And then for for adults, we like to teach them about home fire safety.
Right.
So speaking on the home fire safety, some of the shelters, can you maybe elaborate a little bit on when we put up the shelter, kind of what is taking place in there with those families?
Yeah, so
I've been to some of the ones in Yellowstone, toured some of them, so kind of just for others that haven't experienced that.
Well, and you toured the one here in Great Falls too, about 3 or 4 years ago when you were still on the board. We're so grateful for you being on the board.
Absolutely.
When there's an emergency, so like we'll use the Yellowstone flooding as an example last year, we'll get a call from the Department of Emergency Services, a state agency. The emergency manager from that county will call Red Cross to say, we're evacuating X number of homes, we need a shelter. We can be there within 2 hours to get that shelter set up because we have supplies pre-positioned all across the state, so that in a moment's notice we can set up a shelter. We have shelter agreements with schools, churches, buildings across the state, and we'll get those shelters set up within 2 hours. And it was interesting during the flooding last year in Red Lodge, can you believe it's been a year? I mean, it's just
No.
not quite, yeah, just a little over a year ago.
Time flies.
Yeah, we set up a shelter in Red Lodge, and families were evacuated from a campground by helicopter, and they were brought to our shelter to, they were in shock. They needed a safe place to stay. We have food. So we provide food, comfort, care, and some hope. Like, we'll get you back on your feet again.
So, and once again, that's the people that are working at that shelter are volunteers, 90%.
That's right.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
that's a lot. How if someone is interested in helping you and becoming a volunteer, how would they do that? What's their process?
Well, it's very easy to get started. And so you just visit redcross.org/Montana, or just go to redcross.org and it will automatically come to our local page because of your zip code. And you sign up to volunteer. And we provide all the training, every bit of training. It's very comprehensive, so that you won't have any question about what it is that you need to do. You can learn how to be a shelter supervisor, where you get the shelter set up. You can be a caseworker, where you follow up with families and help them develop long-term recovery plans after they've experienced a disaster. You can, if you're a mental health, if you have like social work license, I think, Janet, you do. You could sign up to be a counselor and help do casework. So
I was saying the caseworker sounds pretty interesting.
it is so rewarding.
Well, and helping those families maybe with other areas that a disaster. Maybe there's other disasters happening at the same time, for lack of better description. So.
Absolutely, because in a lot of times, I mean, everybody is working hard, paying their bills, going with the flow, and one minor setback can change their life forever.
Trajectory of their life forever, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And so that's where Red Cross comes in, really. It's getting them back on their feet again, so they're not using their savings to pay for a hotel room.
Right.
So that's so important. And then, we have all kinds of services that we can wrap around a family and an individual. Not just Red Cross, we partner with other organizations, across Montana and here in Great Falls, depending on what their needs are.
Oh goodness, that's a lot, right? And we want to have you back. And if we talk really nicely, perhaps we could have you at our neighborhood block party scheduled for Friday, July 21st.
I'm looking forward to that invitation. Thank you.
Okay.
Just as one gentle reminder to all of our in our neighborhood viewers, summer is a critical blood donation need, so please, please, please donate.
And that pounding that you may be hearing is the actual construction.
The biomedical expansion.
It's going to be beautiful when it's finished. I'm so
Pretty
excited.
exciting. Thanks so much, Diane.
Thank
you.
for joining us.
Thank
Happy
you.
4th of July, everyone.